But I want to caution you that when you get done, you still haven't really learned Arabic yet. And the Arabic language is so rich and so powerful that the comparison to the English is like you want to take a gallon of water and pour it into an 8-ounce cup. It's not going to go. Make sense?
Absolutely. Can you tell us in our audience, what are some of the proofs that verify the things that you've identified about the Quran and its uniqueness?
Actually, there's a lot about it. And I don't want to take the whole program just talking about this, but let me give you some of the things. For instance, the Quran claims it won't be changed. It hasn't been changed. The Quran claims within itself that it'll be preserved, and it is still here just as it was. The Quran tells us if you're in doubt about it, bring a book like it. Nobody's been able to do that. It also asks you to bring 10 chapters like it. Nobody could do that. Then finally it says bring 1 chapter. By the way, do you know what the smallest chapter of the Quran is?
Surah Al-Kawthar.
Right. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا آتيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. Look how short is this. It's tiny. It's the smallest surah in the Quran. Yet, for meaning and depth and understanding, you will never find anybody can match it in the Arabic language. Plus, consider this. It's one of the most recited of the Quran. Even little children know it. So if somebody wants to come with a book like it, let them go find 1.5 billion children who would like to memorize it. And they won't. And keeping this in mind, 88% of all the Muslims today are not Arab. And Arabic is not their language. 88% of 1.5 billion people are memorizing the Quran. Think about this. Out of all of the Muslims, every single Muslim has memorized some of the Quran in the Arabic language. In the original language as it came. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Now I'm going to stop. What's coming up next?
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين.
And then?
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم
غير المغضوب عليهم
ولا الضالين. Now, how could it be that somebody, by the way, you're from South Carolina, but originally by way of Washington, D.C. and Connecticut, yeah?
That's good.
And at one time, you were a candidate for priesthood. You were, yeah, admit
You're
it.
telling all my secrets now.
Yeah, it's true. And you were also an altar boy. Yeah. So, you were Catholic. American. I was Protestant. And by the way, I used to be a music minister. I used to be the one putting the music out to the, set it to whatever was going to be this speech for the day, whatever the sermon was going to be, to make sure the music fit in along with that. I did some preaching of my own on the, from the, we call it mimbar, they call it the podium up there, you know. So, we both are familiar with the religion from the Christian point of view. And yet, how many times did you ever try to memorize the whole Bible in the original language?
I don't think I tried once.
Me neither. And I never met anybody that was interested in trying to memorize the Bible in original language. Did you?
No.
I mean, to be honest, I never have met anybody who said, I would like to memorize the whole Bible in Hebrew or in Aramaic or something like that. I never heard anybody say that. But every single Muslim that I've met, all of them want to memorize the Quran in the Arabic language. So this is different. This is totally unique. Now, you ask about some of the proofs. I'm going to mention something to you. There are prophecies in the Quran that came true. Prophecies in the Quran that came true. No. You could say, well, the Bible did too. Well, that's right, because we believe that the Bible also came from God. That people that played with it, they didn't change everything. In fact, they probably didn't change very much at all, just a few things. And then translations came along later, and maybe that's where the misunderstandings come. But for sure, prophecies is one of the miracles of the Quran. Another one is the scientific miracles that we find in the Quran. We have in the Quran where it talks about the 2 seas that come together, but they never mix. They have 2 different temperatures, 2 different salinities. They have 2 different forms of animal life and plant life in there. And they don't mix. That's in Surah Al-Rahman. Then we have also in Juz Amma, when it says Amma Yatasa'alun, it's talking there, it'll be telling them that the mountains, that Allah put mountains on the earth, and they have like tent stakes that go down deep into the ground, holding the crust of the earth together. And what's amazing about that? It's exactly what they just discovered in the last 100 years or so, that is exactly how those mountains go down for miles and miles and miles, and they're shaped just like tent pegs. Hydrology, water cycle, mentioned in Quran 1400 years ago. In the West, that wasn't discovered until only 500 years ago with William Harvey. And then meteorology, the weather, how lightning is formed. That's mentioned, how the movement of the ions within the clouds cause the lightning. Embryology, the formation of a baby. We mentioned about the alaqa. That's in there. All the stages in the trimesters. Even space travel is even referred to in the Quran. And I don't want to go into it too deep, but I would like to mention that on our website we have a place you can go and you can enjoy this so much, and you can find these scientific miracles yourself. And then listen to this. We've got scholars and scientists who have heard about this, they've studied this and learned about the Arabic language, and guess what happened? They became Muslims. And they confirmed that yes, the Quran had to be from God or some source like this, because look at this, nobody 1400 years ago could have made these statements. This we got from Dr. Keith Moore. This we got from Dr. Maurice Bukai. And also, the list goes on. These are video clips you can watch, and one of them, are you ready? He accepted Islam on camera. And you can watch it on our website. Now, the website we got is brand new, and that's why we're doing this promotion right now. I want people to come see the website. It's called allahsquran.com. ALLAHSQURAN.com.
Thank you very much. In closing, if you could summarize the essential message of the Quran in a few brief words, would you please share that with the audience?
And there's another miracle of the Quran. I forgot to mention this. Did you know that when you start in page 1 and you go all the way to the back of the Quran, page after page after page, you're going to find Allah mentioned on every page. Try it. Go through and try to find any place in Quran where Allah is not mentioning something about Himself or one of His names. And you will be surprised over and over, and He's constantly saying the same message, page after page after page. He wants the people to worship Him and not worship what He created. So in a sentence, I guess I would say the message of the Quran is, worship the Creator and not His creations.
Thank you very, very much, Sheikh Yusuf. Thank you very much, audience, for being with us today. On behalf of Share Islam, this is your host, Mutahir Sabri, and we'd like to thank Sheikh Yusuf Estes, the founder and director of ShareIslam.com, for being with us today. Join us again next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi. Jazakallah khair.
Wa yakum lillah.